Hello, folks, and welcome back to the KNB Music Den. I am your friend Keith, and you, sir.
As always, I'm Brad.
As always, Brad, you're looking so comfortable out there, buddy, in the
Yeah,
outdoors.
gotta love it. Gotta love the outdoors. Got the animals out here running around. It's nice.
You're one of them, buddy.
You got that right. You got that right.
Well, the folks clicked on the video title, so they know what we're doing here. Zach Bryan has put out a brand new album. Now, I'm not sure. I get the impression that he just kind of dropped it on the 4th of July. I didn't really see much lead up for this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I missed something. But it seemed like it was like, hey, happy 4th of July, everyone. Here's a new album. So that's cool. It's called The Great American Bar Scene, released on 4th of July. So that's great. One of his previous albums before his self-titled one is called, I believe it's called American Heartbreak. So he's got that tried and true American boy thing going on.
Hmm.
So Zach Bryan is someone that I always keep hearing about more and more. At some point last year, I do remember sitting down and listening to his 34 song triple album, American Heartbreak, um, which is two albums back now. And being impressed, the whole quantity and quality thing. You're thinking, okay, this is a young guy. He's putting out everything he writes. He thinks every song he writes is great. We'll see. But I really enjoyed it. It was a great listen. So when this kind of just fell out of the sky this past, few days ago, I was very interested to hear it. What is your familiarity or back history, if any, with Mr. Bryan, sir?
Well, as I told you, when you mentioned about this album coming out, not a whole lot. Um, my history with Zach Bryan is just hearing his name from half the girls I've ever dated. So I mean, he's obviously been a very popular musician. I just never got around to listening to him. I knew he was drawing big crowds. I knew he was putting out big albums, but I wasn't sure that it was something that was going to draw to me directly. So he just always got put on the back burner. But when you mentioned this new album was dropping, I was like, well, perfect time for me to actually dive in and see what this is all about.
Yeah, perfect time for you to jump in as a newbie and a perfect time for me to kind of revisit him. I've listened to some stuff. I listened to a self-titled from last year, but not, over and over and over again. I enjoyed everything I heard, but it didn't, it wasn't like an obsession for me or anything. Yeah, but I'm kind of with you. When I first heard about him, I just assumed,
Mm-hmm.
shame on me, I guess, but I assumed because he was so popular that he probably wasn't all that good.
Yeah,
um,
it's not even not that good. It's more, I was worried it was going to be more in the vein of more like something that would be popping on the radio that I wouldn't, something bubblegum that I wouldn't quite get into myself. Not that it would be bad, but just this is going to be something I want to jump into. But
yeah.
yeah, I know
Well,
what you mean.
you say bubblegum. My fear was it was going to be what I call bro country.
And I had a little bit of that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought, geez, for all I knew, I didn't know maybe he was Luke Bryan's son. I mean, I had no idea. Yeah. I figured he's popular. Maybe he's put out a song about shaking your butt or something like Luke did years ago. I don't know. But anyway, so just a little background for the folks who don't know, and I kind of wanted to dive in and learn a little more. Zach Bryan was born in Japan in 1996, but he grew up in Oklahoma, and he served in the Navy just like his father did. And he's only 28 years old as we speak, and he started writing songs when he was 14, so half of his life. Um, and again, like I mentioned, now this is something that we can relate to and kind of perks our ears up when someone is being touted as very prolific. His 2019 debut album, Deanne, is named in honor of his late mother. So his first two albums, Deanne and Elizabeth, are self-produced, and they're basically just him and a guitar. So then when he got signed, I think to Warner Brothers, don't quote me on that, but when he got signed, okay, let's get a band going and all, which sounds great. I mean, I think if you put out, he's on his fifth or sixth album now, I guess so, include one's live album, I think. So, I mean, if all he did was just him and an acoustic by now, we'd probably be like, okay, let's do
Yeah.
something else. Um, but, as you heard on this album, there are some songs that are more stripped back, that are effective. Um, but it's when you when I hear about someone that's newer on the scene, that is touted as being so prolific and putting out a 34 song album, and then I think his next one, the self-titled, was like a 19 song album, and this one is
Hmm.
what, like 18 or so,
19.
17, 19 again.
Yeah.
um so it's like, oh wow, he's so prolific. And it's like, you got to be sitting here for people like us sitting here that Ryan Adams would say, hold my root beer. you know
Yeah.
um but yeah, Something in the Orange and I Remember Everything were big hits for him leading up to the release of this new album. Um, so the album starts with Lucky Enough, which is a spoken word poem over some acoustic strums, which, by the way, his previous album, self-titled, he started it with a poem on track one. So maybe that'll be an ongoing theme here as he moves forward. But some of the lyrics he's not singing, but stating here as a spoken word poem. He says in the first track of the album, if I'm lucky enough, I'll understand losing someone else. Oh, sorry, losing someone close. I'll clench my teeth on New Year's Eve and try to talk to ghosts. Um, this guy can write a song. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's got a great voice. But we'll get into more specifics as we go. But since you had never really heard it before, and I had, to me this is more of a continuation. Um, what are your thoughts on Zach Bryan as a songwriter, as a vocalist, as an artist?
Well, initially coming right out the gate, that poem was the first thing I ever heard from him. I mean, because
Yeah,
I haven't heard anything. So that was my introduction right there, is that poem. But that was my
interesting.
initial reaction as well, was, well, damn, this guy can write. Like lyrically, it's very well put out, really well spoken. I mean, immediately makes you think. So, and again, there was his voice as well. I couldn't figure out if there was some sort of an accent
Yeah,
I was getting an Irish vibe. I don't know where I was getting that from, but
yeah,
I couldn't tell. But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, I really enjoyed a lot of the different things on this album. I mean, there was certain tracks that really stuck out to me. Well, I don't remember what number it was, but the track is called 28. It's not
yeah,
track 28, but
yeah,
called
yeah.
28, which I'm guessing maybe is because of his age now. Now that you said he's 28, I don't know.
I think so.
Uh,
Yeah,
but a lot of the lyrics in that just really stuck out to me. The vocals, just the melodies of it, great writing. I also really like Pink Skies, which I'm guessing might have been a single
yeah. I don't know if it was a single, but it might have been. But that one stood out to me too, actually.
because that had a lot of plays on Spotify, more so than the
Okay,
other one. So that made
okay,
me think maybe that was put out as a single.
yeah,
Um, I really enjoyed. Now, I'm a huge, huge, huge fan of John Moreland, and I got to actually hear that he was on this album as well,
yeah,
during the track "Memphis the Blues."
yep,
Love John Moreland, so I love seeing him get exposed to more people to hear some of his stuff as well. Fantastic voice on him.
yeah.
And then we got the Boss. What's your thought on the Boss on this one?
I think it works really well.
Do you?
Yeah, kind of reminds me, when the boss sat in with the Gaslight Anthem on a song recently.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, I'll segue briefly into, there's obviously some influences here with Zach that, Springsteen and classic country. At times when he's got the full band cooking, I do hear a little bit of Gaslight Anthem in
There's
this
some of it.
music.
There
Yeah,
absolutely is some of it. I
it's a
mean,
good thing.
I kind of laugh when I seen the Boss on this again because in rap, I don't know how well you see rap around, but Snoop Dogg's on everybody's albums now. Like he just guest
Yeah,
appears on everything.
yeah,
I feel like the Boss is leaning that way for rock. Like he's just becoming the guy who's just going to guest appear on every singer songwriter album going forward. But
yeah,
yeah, but no, I mean overall, the whole album I did enjoy. It's one that I would go back to, listen to more. Like I said, 28, Pink Skies. Really like the track Like Ida. That was a really good track.
yeah,
Uh, and again, Memphis the Blues. But that I think John Moreland gave me a little bit of an excitement on that. But
yeah.
overall, fantastic album, I thought.
Yeah, man, I really enjoyed it. And made me want to go back and listen to some of his older stuff that I hadn't visited in a while, which I did that as well this weekend. Um, but his lyrics are just, it's the American,
Yeah,
hard love. It's clearly coming from a lot of life experience for only being 28 years old. I mean, he lost his mom. He was married and divorced quickly, from what I read. Um, I don't know if he got married a second time, but I know he was at least dating someone. Um, but he's one of the few artists going today, in my opinion, that have lots of songs on their albums but they're all solid, so it's not an issue. I mean, some of these
Yeah.
other ones where we talk about the CD era and you had to fill all 80 minutes of music, and
Yep.
then and now it's like endless. I mean, with streaming, so people just want to put out like 20 songs at a clip, but sometimes only like eight of them are good.
Hmm.
That's not the case with this dude.
No, I agree because when I first seen it was 19 tracks, I kind of gritted my teeth, going, "Oh man, it's gonna be a long one to get through." But it flowed beautifully. It didn't feel like 19 tracks. Um, each one was great. There was no album, no song that came to me where I was like, "We should leave this one off." None of that occurred. So no, overall, I mean, I'd give it a very solid B to an A minus.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. And I envy you because I know you, and you're gonna go back and start with the first one. Um, that first album, actually saw it. I was in, I guess, Barnes and Noble the other day, and I saw
Mhm.
it on vinyl. His first album, Deanne, named after his late mother.
Okay.
And again, it's just him and a guitar, man, and it's fantastic.
Yeah,
It's
definitely gonna
really
have to go
good.
back. I'm gonna have to like dive in more with this one now that I'm a little bit familiar with it. I have to spend some time with it. But then yeah, I will definitely go back.
Yeah, and as you work your way through his albums, when you get to the one that has 34 songs, I'm interested how that'll go for you. I enjoyed it. Um, but you know, there are some songs on this album that still are just very stripped back, more towards the end of the album, which I enjoy.
Mhm.
But it seems like even when he has a full band rocking with him, I noticed it seemed to me that the star of the show here is his lyrics and his voice.
It is
So
100%.
yeah, so it seemed like even when the band was rocking, they kind of didn't want to, not I want to say overshadow, but they didn't want to almost intrude. So like it could even
Yeah.
be an upbeat song with the drums and the guitar, electric guitar and stuff, but it even still seemed like he was rising above everything and shining.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
makes sense.
they know where the money is, and that's his vocals and his lyrics. I mean, he's like a poet, so I mean, that's you don't want to hide that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna let can you hear my mother-in-law's dog is staying with us for a few days. Can you hear him crying?
No,
Okay, I'm gonna let him in
bring him in. Let's hear him.
I'm gonna put him out of his misery here.
Okay, good. There we go.
He's whimpering, it's kind of distracting me. Come on, Bennett. Come on, Bennett. Hey, his name is Bennett. What does that make you think of,
Oh,
buddy?
Jay Bennett. You named your dog after Jay Bennett.
Well, it's my mother-in-law's dog. She just named him Bennett to name him Bennett. But come on, buddy, you want
Okay.
people to see him?
Yeah, let's see this dog.
Let's see this dog. You are handsome.
Is he handsome?
He's handsome.
Oh, he definitely is handsome.
He's handsome. Look at him. Oh, he's giving me kisses.
He's a fan.
All right, now calm down, buddy. I gotta finish this video, but you stop crying, okay? Yeah, I heard his name was Bennett, and I was like, I started calling him JB for
Yeah,
our
that's a
guy
good.
Jay Bennett. Come
Perfect.
on, buddy.
Perfect.
Yeah, yeah. So, sorry, folks. His crying was getting a little in my head there. He's good now. So, I talked about the Springsteen influence, and you
Mhm.
talked about the collaborations. John Moreland, John Mellencamp also shows up on this album. Did
Yeah.
you notice that? Yeah,
Yep.
on a song called "Better Days." Um,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna quote some lyrics here in a minute. But Brad, tell me if you agree with this. I listened to this guy, and I'm gonna sound like such a music snob, which we are. Let's be honest, but I think this is one of the few times where the masses got it right.
Yeah. I agree.
You
I
know?
felt a little foolish when I put it on. Well, this is something I would have enjoyed right from the get go. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Pretty bad.
Um, undeniable talent, songwriting. The voice is just kind of world weary, and
Yep.
it's not like an 8 octave range gonna blow you away technically, but it's so authentic,
It is. Yeah.
so
Yep.
authentic. So I mean, I would love if I ever went to see this guy live, I would just like to see him in a theater with him sitting there with a guitar.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But let me quote some lyrics here. The song 28 that you mentioned, right?
Hmm.
So he sings, I lost my mind on the streets of the city, and maybe I lost all hope too. Took 28 years of blood pumping through me to get to this evening with you.
Yep.
So yeah, there's a lot of love, love lost, heartbreak, authentic, good feelings of love, not just all heartbreak that run through his
Oh
whole
yeah.
career. And he just spins them so well. Um, Now the song Oak Island, which to me was very much like his Atlantic City.
Yeah. It's a
uh,
good song
you know,
though.
Contact Minds. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't mean that in a bad way. But this is very Atlantic City when you hear him sing, but he made a bad deal with some boys out on Oak Island. And and if he don't and if sorry, I missed a word when I typed this. And if he don't pay, they say they're bound to find him. So yeah, that's a good haunting song there.
Yeah,
What was the one you mentioned? Pink Skies? Is it Pink Skies?
I think it was. Yeah, Pink Skies.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
quote a lyric from that, but I just that one where he keeps talking about that the kids are in town for a funeral. I mean, it's
funeral. Yeah,
just oof. Um,
yep.
but I did love in Sandpaper, the one with the boss, where I think Zach sings and then Bruce sings, and then I think they both start singing together, and they sing "Winter was a drag, but spring was a friend. I'll love you till the summer comes back again."
Hmm.
Just real simple,
Yep,
but just effective and beautiful.
I agree.
So yeah, man, I'm on board. The masses be damned.
They got it
I
right.
they got it right, and what, like, it's kind of like they got it right with Chris Stapleton too.
Yeah,
Where I think, how shall I put this? In my opinion, I think Chris Stapleton, pound for pound, has a better voice, a more impressive voice. But I think Zach Bryan might have better songs.
100%.
Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah, I
my
agree.
vibe.
I agree 100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Not that Chris Stapleton has bad songs. He has some great songs. But this guy seems to be like similar to our guy Ryan Adams in the sense that he just puts a bunch of stuff out and there's not much you can complain about as far as quality.
No, yeah, he can write. So I mean, exactly. He can't find a bad song on here. So
Yeah. So yeah, man, I envy you. Like I said, go back to Deanne, the first one, and just get ready for a nice ride because yeah, it's really, really, really great stuff. Really great
yeah,
stuff. So I'm glad we did this. So folks that may be new to our channel that are Zach Bryan fans, please subscribe to our channel. We're always reviewing new music, doing other different types of content that you'll learn about if you subscribe, like song versus song battles, Goldilocks game, ranking albums in real time, things like that. So it's just for our love of music. So please join us, please subscribe, please like the video and share it. Zach Bryan has dropped the great American bar scene. Yeah, this music feels important to me, and I'm glad that we're shining a light on it. Not that it seems like he needs it, but but hey, we're just two old guys weighing in and finally catching on to what some of you already know. um,
exactly.
well, the big question, like we always say, Brad, would you buy this on vinyl?
Absolutely would.
So would I, and I just might. um, so yeah, so folks, let us know what you think in the comments of this Zach Bryan album. Are you new to Zach Bryan? Have you been with him all along? If you've been with him all along, where does this kind of rank for you? Is this among his best? Is it kind of in the middle? Is it his best? Um, so thanks again for watching. Thanks, Brad, for your time, and enjoy your Zach Bryan back catalog dig because I know you, and I know you're going to be starting it soon.
Oh, it'll happen.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you with more album reviews, more content. Thanks so much for watching the KMB Music Den. See ya.